Welcome to AutoTruth, revealing the road ahead.
All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are jumping straight into one of the most talked about new cars on the road right now, the Omoda 5. We're going to break down the massive hype, the hard data, and the raw experiences of actual owners. So if you've been seeing this sleek crossover everywhere and wondering what the real story is, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get right into it.
Now, you might have heard it called the Temu Range Rover. Yeah, it's a viral nickname that its parent company, Chery, absolutely doesn't want sticking around, but honestly, it perfectly captures what we're looking at today. You see this thing and think, there is no way I'm getting this much car for that price. But is it actually a steal, or are there hidden costs just waiting to bite you? That's the gap between expectation and reality we're going to close right now.
To really wrap our heads around the hype, just look at this single dizzying number, 10,064. That is how many JQ 7s, which is basically the Omoda 5's sister car, were sold in the UK in just 1 month this past March. That volume is enough to literally leapfrog over established European, Japanese, and Korean rivals. So yeah, this isn't just a slow rollout, it is a total market shockwave.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll hit the Omoda 5 arrival, check out the unbeatable price and features, look at performance and engine specs, uncover the real-world efficiency gap, dive into reliability and owner feedback, and finally answer the big question, is it worth buying?
Starting with Part 1, the Omoda 5 arrival. Let's look at the sheer economic force pushing this car right onto your local dealership lot.
According to teardown data from the Oliver Wyman consultancy, Chery is just flipping the market upside down. It only cost them about $23,000 to manufacture a petrol Omoda 5. A comparable European SUV, you're looking at $33,000. That is a massive $10,000 head start right out of the gate. How? Well, it's fueled by a brutal price war back in China, heavily subsidized state supply chains, and labor costs that are just a fraction of what they are in Europe.
So what does that massive discount mean for you, the buyer? That brings us to Section 2, unbeatable price and features.
It translates to absolutely ridiculous value. The Omoda 5 starts at a super aggressive £25,235, and for that price, especially on the higher Noble trim, you get the whole shebang. We're talking twin 12.25-inch curved displays, high-speed cooled wireless phone charging, a full 360-degree camera, premium Sony audio, and even ventilated synthetic leather seats. If you went to a legacy brand, you'd be shelling out thousands extra for this stuff. They're practically throwing tech at you to make it feel like an absolute steal.
But hey, a car's got to be more than just a giant screen on wheels, right? Let's get into Section 3, performance and engine specs.
You basically had two choices under the hood. The standard 1.6-liter turbocharged petrol gives you 147 horsepower and gets you from 0 to 62 in 7.8 seconds through a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. But check out the Omoda E5 electric variant. It totally blows the combustion engine out of the water with 204 horsepower and a 7.2-second sprint to 62. On paper, the EV is definitely bringing the superior driving dynamics.
But hold on, if you're eyeing that electric E5, pay attention to this figure. 80 kilowatts. That is its maximum rapid charging rate, which means getting from a 30 to 80% charge is going to take you about 28 minutes. Now, if you know EVs, you know most modern drivers expect a minimum of 100 kilowatts. So while the cabin feels like a spaceship, the actual charging architecture underneath is kind of lagging behind the curve.
And speaking of lagging behind, let's hit Section 4, the real-world efficiency gap. This is where that expectation versus reality theme really hits the fan.
Dealerships love their lab figures, but independent testing, it paints a completely different picture. The Australian Automobile Association tested the petrol model, which claims a nice 6.9 liters per 100 kilometers in the lab. Out on the actual road, it guzzled 9.1. That is a massive 32% variance. Investigators are literally calling it a petrol consumption scandal because all those thousands you saved to purchase, yeah, they might just vanish at the fuel pump. Oh, and the EV? Independent winter tests saw the advertised 430-kilometer range plummet to just 220 kilometers. That is a brutal 45% drop. Okay, we've crunched this sterile data. Now let's talk about what it's actually like to live with this thing. Section 5, reliability and owner feedback. Just listen to this raw feedback from an owner on Reddit. They said, Android Auto cuts out every 30 minutes, lane assist throws you all over the place, and emergency reverse brakes go off mid-reverse, jolting them and their child really badly. Yikes! That echoes a super common complaint. The tech looks incredible in the showroom, but out in the wild, the software feels deeply unfinished. You've got oversensitive safety systems that are practically fighting you while you drive.
And honestly, it's not just the software acting up. Mechanics are flagging some pretty annoying physical defects, too. We're talking premature radiator failures leading to engine overheating, transmission software glitches that cause shifting hesitation, and cabin blower motors literally rattling and failing at just 40,000 miles. Plus, climate control systems that just totally lose their calibration. To put that all into perspective, automotive analysts are seeing defect rates for the Omoda 5 running about 20 to 25% higher than the established Japanese legacy brands. The general consensus from the pros is that the Omoda 5 isn't fundamentally broken, but it's an immature product. Basically, you're signing up to be an early adopter for a brand that is definitely still going through some growing pains.
So, taking all of this into account, the crazy tech, the incredibly low price, the thirsty engines, and the glitchy software, it brings us to our final section. Is it worth buying?
Here is the ultimate trade-off for you to weigh. On one hand, Chery knows they need to earn your trust, so they give you this huge safety net, a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. That is some serious peace of mind. But there's a hidden trap. The after-sales network is still super green. Mechanics are warning that if something does break, you might be stuck waiting ages for imported parts to clear the supply chain. On top of that, major service intervals, like the 60,000-kilometer mark, can actually cost nearly double what you'd pay to service a legacy competitor.
Which leaves us with this final provocative question. Does the absolute bargain upfront price, the ventilated seats, the massive screens, and that 7-year warranty completely offset the extra cash you're going to burn at the pump and the potential headaches of glitchy software and a developing service network? It's a genuinely fascinating disruption in the car world. But ultimately, the choice comes down to your personal appetite for risk. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. Keep learning, keep asking the hard questions, and we'll see you in the next one.
Get the truth about your ride. Subscribe to AutoTruth today.